Welcome to Deeper Reading. I'm your host, Thomas Lewandowski. There's several reasons that this video might be beneficial to you, and here they are. Number one is you're an AP or IB student, you're an overachiever, and you're trying to take your interpretation to the next level. It's a difficult area to grow in, and so this video is going to be pretty intense. I'm going to talk about some things that are deeply meaningful to me, and I hope that in articulating that, you'll gain something that you can take into your next reading experience. Maybe your friends love literature and you feel a bit left out because you're like, you don't get it. Don't be ashamed. I'm sorry if you don't get it. It's all right. It's okay not to get it. You can get it. You can learn how to get it. Maybe you need a little bit different understanding of how language works and how many levels that language can work on. I guess that's the biggest thing. Depth. What is depth? What are we talking about when we talk about depth? We're talking about meaning and we're talking about relevance. And so that's what we're going for in this video. That's what I hope you are able to find. Are you looking for more meaning in your life? Perhaps this video is for you. So the first thing that you need to do if you want to have deeper reading experiences, you need to read things that are worth reading. This series of videos is going to focus on Wisława Szymborska's Miracle Fair, which I'm not kidding, it's as good as it gets as far as depth and meaning. There she is, everybody's favorite grandmother, Wisława Szymborska. 1996 Nobel Prize winning Polish poet. Czesław Miłosz. That's how you say it in Polish. Miłosz. Czesław Miłosz. So he wrote the introduction, the foreword, to this book right here. But here's the kicker. He's also Polish, he's also a poet, and he also won the Nobel Prize. So here we have a situation where we have one Nobel Prize winner describing the value and the work of another Nobel Prize winner. What a great context for learning about deeper reading, finding depth and relevance and meaning in literature. That's the journey we're on. Welcome aboard. If you do what I ask you to do and you get this book and you go, I did everything you did and yeah, I don't get it, I'll give you your money back. Here's the plan. You thought you heard the plan? You didn't hear the plan. This is the plan. It's a very simple thing. It's a very simple enterprise. All we're gonna do is embark on a very deep reading of Johanna Trzeciak's translation of Czesław Miłosz's foreword to Szymborska's Miracle Fair. That's it. Along the way, well, we're gonna come to see what it is that her poetry has to offer, right? This is what is in the work according to Miłosz. So he must know, right? He's a very, very good poet, Nobel Prize winner. So what does he think is there for us? Well, we'll find out by reading the foreword. There's something there for us that has to do with interpretation, something there for us that has to do with art, something there for us that has to do with reading, love. Who doesn't want that, right? Life is there. Life is there. Life is here. Is there life? Is there life in here? Well, that is what we believe. That is at the bedrock understanding. That is a bedrock assumption of literature, is that there is value for you, for your life in the work. And if you're taking a literature class or you're taking a literature exam, the big question is, have you found it? Can you find it? Can you describe it? Can you name it? Can you explore it? That's what it's all about. These are human constraints. This is the world that we live in, a world of art, love, reading, language, time. Miłosz, Szymborska, depth, recognize depth. When we're through this process, which will be me explaining, exploring, investigating Miłosz's foreword, when we're through with this process, what I would advise you to do is get the book. Maybe you already have it. You have the book, you know what's supposed to be there, then you can test yourself. Can you find it? I might make some videos because, man, do I love this poetry. Like I really look at somebody like Wisława Szymborska as like a gift to humanity, to humankind. It's unquestionably a gift. What she offered, she didn't come with bombs or guns, or she didn't try to take control of anybody's government. She tried to offer us words of value that we could use to guide our lives. It's a gift. Unquestionably, her work is a gift. Let's find out what's in there. And here we are, Miłosz's forward, first paragraph. Pause it, read it. Okay, you read it, so what do you know? What depth? The rest of this video is going to be about the first sentence. Here we go. 1, word depth. Because I feel like there's certain ways of seeing language that you have to accept before you can move into deep interpretation. Recognize the power of words. Schema and cognitive frameworks, figurative language. I'll talk about them one at a time. First, recognize the power of words. Is that scary? Is it true? Do you believe me? Let's find out. Are you taking notes? You should be. This is what my notes look like. This is, in fact, how this entire presentation began. Sketches, thoughts, concepts that are related. As I was reading Miłosz's foreword, I thought about what would be most helpful to you. This is what I came up with. Our most important thinking we do in words. So when we talk about the power of language, what is more powerful than language? Because words are how we define ourselves. When you think about yourself and your life, you think in words. Illustrative examples. 800,000 people tragically die by suicide every year worldwide. That's a very sad truth. Could it be said? Would it be fair to say that words killed them? Is that a fair statement? Is it a true statement? It's an interpretive statement. No, that's not really true. People who commit suicide are suffering from depression, which is a treatable mental illness. So if that's you, you can get some help. You can definitely get some help, and you can be helped. But there's an important relationship to consider when we think about words, particularly the words that we say to ourselves and our understanding of our own lives. Do you see how far I've departed from talking about a book? Because books that are good are about your life. And you have to find your life in the books that you're reading to find value. That's understandable. It's so different from math, It's so personal and it's so emotional. And when you encounter Szymborska's work, you will find things that are deeply personal to you, deeply powerful to you. Here's the idea. Your life, you're experiencing something right now that could be characterized as your life. It's a moment. Your life is made of moments. During those moments, you might have an interior dialogue going on in your mind. Perhaps right now you're saying to yourself, my goodness, this is a good video. I'm going to hit the like button. Or maybe you're saying, oh, man, did he just grub for some likes? I'm done with this guy. Or maybe you're waiting for me to say something that is interesting and valuable to you. Or maybe you've just realized that I am. Because this is your life. A series of consecutive moments makes up your life. But as you move through those moments, you're also generating an idea of what life is. And this is where I think we come back to depression and death by suicide, is because I feel like many people who reach that point in their lives are people who, at a point in their life, they don't have in their mind a conception of life that's without pain and emotional suffering. It doesn't exist. They can't see it. They can't feel it. They can't imagine it. And so you have depression, you have hopelessness, and then you have an irreversible decision at some point. 800,000 times a year. So nothing shapes your life more than what you believe is possible in life in general and in life in your life specifically. That it, in this particular sentence, is doing a lot of work. Nothing shapes your life more than what you believe about it. It being both life and abstract concept, like the idea of life, like what is life? If you feel like life is meaningless, like life doesn't have any deeper relevance or connection, that's a belief about the abstract concept of life. But it's also going to impact how you live your life and how you experience your life. What does all this have to do with words? Everything. Because you think in words. So what I'm talking about right now is the power of language. If you're going to find deep relevance in language, you have to have an understanding that in many senses, your life is built of language. Your emotional responses to events, the feelings that you feel, are generated by what you think is happening, what you think things mean. Your interpretation of events, like for example, something bad happens, you lose out on an opportunity, you don't get that scholarship that you're looking for. And in your thinking about that experience, you tie that into a larger story of yourself. You always lose. Of course, this is no surprise. This is what everyone expected. This is what is supposed to happen. Those are stories. Those are words. But if those are the words that you use to understand your experiences, the feelings that are going to be generated are desperation and hopelessness. This, by the way, is the diagram that you might very well see if you go see a professional counselor. It's the whole basis of cognitive behavioral psychology. And it's the idea that if you're feeling depressed, what can you do? Can you change your feelings? It's hard to just change your feelings. You can't just change your feelings. But you might be able to change your behaviors, and you might be able to change your thoughts, especially if you can control the words that you're using to describe your own life. And that's why people do things like affirmations. You look in the mirror and you say, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. You look in the mirror and you say, I have what it takes. I am enough. I belong. People will go suffer depression and they'll see a therapist who is a caring, generous person who will say, hey, why don't you try this? Look in the mirror and say it 10 times in a row, right into your own eyes. I belong. I belong. I belong. Well, those words, they start to have an effect on your feelings because the words that we use to describe our lives, they make our lives. So what about these words? Let's go back. We go back to Szymborska. We go back to Miłosz, describing what Szymborska's poetry can do for us. And I'll just read this first sentence. Poetry that speaks to the enduring and irreversible coordinates of human fate, love, striving, fear of pain, hope, the fleeting nature of things, and death, leads us to believe that the poet is one of us and shares that fate. So those words, one of us, shares, us, speaks, human fate. If you understand the power of those words, is there a more powerful word than us? If you think about the concept, if you think about the idea that we exist, that we experience something, that is a common understanding of humanity, of what it means to be human. And literature, at its deepest level, is about being human. So, what can we find? Your life as an abstract concept. There's two different things. This is Plato. Plato talked about things like this, We have an idea of what life can be. Well, that idea of what life can be is like moves into the future. It might involve the past. And then you have your life that you're experiencing right now. Well, in real life, words matter. I talked about this before. If someone says something to you, or maybe you say it to yourself, I'm proud of you. Changed your hair. I noticed you. I notice you. You matter. Well, those in real life, they can change your life, and they can change your understanding of what's possible in life or what you deserve in life or all these big questions about life. In literature, the words can have the same effect because literature that is good will feel like it's real. So when Friar Lawrence says to Romeo, be patient for the world is broad and wide, what's more useful than that? Be patient, for the world is broad and wide. There's time. I always think about this when I work with young people. There's time There's always a feeling of immediacy and almost like emergency, like social emergency that a lot of young people have, like in high school. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide. When Juliet says, my bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep, the more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. That's something that you can take directly into your life as a definition of what love is. That's a great definition of love. It's a gift that makes the giver more wealthy. Beautiful language, a beautiful idea. Is it true? I don't know. It sounds good. Recognize the power of words. I think I'll talk about schema and cognitive frameworks in the next video. And I'll be able to tell if I make the next video by how many people watch this, how many people watch to the end, how many people maybe found some value in it by liking or subscribing. That stuff just helps me know what I should do next. Thanks for watching.